One of the most popular jobs available for foreigners in Japan is teaching. Some come with high expectation and end up disappointed, while others come and simply enjoy it. What is life like for an Eikaiwa teacher in Japan? How much do you need to live here? Let's ask Shane, a Singaporean teaching English in Japan. Hello, I'm Floria.
Hi, I'm Xuan.
Okay, so today Shane is here with us, and Shane is working as an English teacher here in Japan. So I'm going to ask about her time here in Japan. Okay, so Shane, why did you choose to come to Japan to teach?
So Japanese was one of the two foreign languages that I learned back in Singapore. And I ultimately chose to come to Japan because I want to really have a chance to immerse in the language and also the way of life here. So that's mainly why I chose to come to Japan. Of course, also I am interested in the Japanese culture, Japanese food.
Okay, so how long have you been here?
2 years. So I came in April 2022, and this is my third year.
Okay, so for the past 2 years, you were working in an Eikaiwa school, right? So can you tell us a little about the working hours of an Eikaiwa school?
So I think most of them, they start in the afternoon. So mine started at 2:30 p.m. and I end work at 9:30 p.m.
Wow, okay. Do you think that's long or it's quite good the time?
I think the timing's fine. It's about 7 hours, which is shorter than the regular working hours in Singapore, which is 8 hours.
So what is your normal working days like? Like, what do you do?
Okay, so because I used to start work in the afternoon, so I have the entire morning to myself. So I would have like breakfast either with a book or in front of my laptop watching YouTube or Netflix. Then I would do yoga because it's really important to at least for me, I believe it's important to keep yourself fit, to keep doing what you like, right? I would take a nap and then potter about the house, clean up a little bit, prepare lunch, study the Japanese language. Yes,
very disciplined.
I try, and then I would get ready for work.
Okay. And what about your off days? What do you do on your off days?
So I try to go hiking at least once a month. During the cool weather. That in my first year on my vacation, when I had vacation days, I traveled around Japan. So I went to Okinawa and Hokkaido, saw lots of snow for the first time. But that was my first year. Now it's really just going to places that are a bit nearer, like Shiga, Kyoto, Hiroshima, and and also I really love the museums here. So where I can, I try to visit the museums.
Oh, okay. So these are what you did on your off days. Okay. Okay. So recently you changed your job. And how did you go about looking for a job? And what are the challenges that you face?
So I looked mostly online. There are a lot of job boards and platforms. So like Gaijin Port, Daijob, LinkedIn also. Japanese companies are quite active on LinkedIn as well. As for challenges, I think because we are in the teaching English as a foreign language sector, so the competition is just really tough because there are many people who want to come to Japan to teach English, like fresh grads or people who are taking a gap year from work or from studying, right? So I think that's mostly that's the main competition. But also because I was looking to teach at a kindergarten, a full-time kindergarten. So I also faced competition from licensed teachers. So I graduated with a liberal arts degree, so I'm not a licensed teacher.
Oh, okay. So what? How did you get a new job then? Like, what advantage did you have over the others?
There were two things actually that was mentioned. One was my arts background. So I used to work in the arts in Singapore, and some of the employers found that quite interesting. And personally, I mean, actually coming from Kaiwa, right, I can see how that is an advantage as well, because through the arts, basically I had to learn about a lot of different subjects, topics, technology or general cultural subjects like visual arts, films and all that. So actually it was really my knowledge before proved to be really useful when it came to interacting in the classroom, keeping things interesting in the classroom. So that's one. And the other one was that I can speak Mandarin and I can teach Mandarin. So these two are the advantages.
Being bilingual is an advantage too. Okay, right. So if you don't mind, like, could you give us a breakdown of your income and expenses?
Okay, so I think generally from what I see, if you're starting out, you are usually paid about $2,400 to $2,600. So I mean, if it's Japanese yen, is 240,000 yen, right?
Okay.
But I'll use dollars because it's just
Singapore dollars.
Singapore dollars. So because it's just a smaller figure to deal with. So let's say you get like $2,400. So personally for me, rent is $400. I understand rent can be like between $400 and $700 for one person in a typical apartment.
Rental apartment.
Yeah, rental apartment, like one LDK.
DK.
Yeah, one LDK. Yeah. So that's rent, and utilities, including like phone bills, we are looking at like $60 to $140. So
for utilities.
So I mean $140, like that's for the not extreme, but the for winter and summer when it gets really hot and really cold. Then I spend about $20 to $30 per week on groceries. Transport is about $140 a month. And then insurance and taxes, that's probably about $240 per month.
So do you think it is possible to manage with the amount of salary you are getting?
Absolutely. If you don't have financial commitments back home, if the yen is not so weak.
Yes, that's the problem.
Yeah,
now, the low yen.
Yeah, but otherwise it's actually absolutely livable on the income.
Oh, okay, right. Thank you. And so you finish your 2 years contract and you decide to look for another job to continue to stay here. Why did you decide to continue to stay here in Japan?
So I really like bigger countries. I come from Singapore, right? You are from Singapore, right? So I really appreciate that, with bigger countries and in the temperate countries, you get to see nature in the 4 seasons. a lot more nature to explore.
Right.
Different regions to explore. One of the first things my former students told me was that basically every region in Japan has its own idiosyncrasies and like subtle differences in the culture. So that's a reason. And also food. Like I really love the food.
The Japanese food.
Yeah, I really love Japanese food here. I mean, there's a typical one like tempura, but simply because I love the batter that the Japanese use. But ever since coming here, two of my greatest discoveries, my personal greatest discoveries, yomogi, mudwort.
Wow. Okay.
Or aicao in Chinese. I love yomogi. I love the herbal grassy fragrance. Why do you look like that?
It's very unusual, like for foreigners to say they like yomogi.
Personal preference, I guess. But the first time I had yomogi was yomogi mochi. And the usual yomogi mochi they have red bean filling. And I thought that was a really nice compliment to the grassy fragrance. It really brought out that grassy fragrance. So anyway, so yomogi is one. And the other one is figs, fresh figs.
Yes.
Yeah, ichijuku.
Yeah.
So like I told my former students that I had fresh figs with a glass of milk, and they were really surprised, but it worked really well. Like this combination, yeah. So the food for sure. I mean, and also because this is Kobe, right? I love it simply because the pace of life is a lot slower than in Singapore. Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, so the last question is what advices would you give to people thinking of coming here to live, to work, whatever?
Obviously the first one, learn the language. If you can, learn as much as you can before coming, and continue to learn even after you arrive, and also to read up on the culture. I mean, it's not just like to Japan, but like if you want to go to any countries, any country to work, it's always good to read up on the culture, familiarize yourself with the way of working, the way of life, and I guess simply understand at least that because it's not your country, so things are different. Things can be unexpectedly different. I think just being aware of that helps a lot.
Okay. So come with an open mind and just do whatever they do here then.
Oh, and I guess like if you come here already fluent in the Japanese language, you probably would also have more job opportunities. Yeah.
Not only teaching English. Okay, yes. Okay, so for those of you thinking of coming, learn Japanese.
Yes.
Definitely, very important. Okay, so yes, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and please remember to subscribe. Bye.
Bye.